100. Hey, what's good, y'all? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on, vibe with me, y'all. It's real talk, pillow talk. I get right back on my horse and I get it. Yeah, we don't stay down for long. Right back up and we giddy up. Hey. Welcome, 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 y'all. Wait, I'm too excited to be here. Like, for real, y'all. Let me just cross my legs and get all comfortable as I welcome y'all to Real Talk Pillow Talk. But hold on, see, we got the pillows. Got a pillow over here. Got my pillow right here. And as I promised y'all, I was going to have me a little shot of something. It's only detox tea, but it's my drink for tonight. Sip, sip. So welcome, welcome, welcome. So first of all, let me just take a moment. For those who may not know me, let me properly introduce myself. So I am April Edwards, lifestyle strategist, health and wellness coach, overcomer, whatever you want to call me. I answer to a lot of names, but the credential that I think serves me most importantly is that I'm a certified overcomer of the very issues that I serve and support women on each and every day. And I just love this. Every time I try to just go and chill and fall back a little bit, it just calls me back in because this is me serving in my purpose. So I'm just so happy to have y'all here with me tonight for a little real talk, pillow talk. So let me just set the stage, y'all. First of all, let me get over here, make sure I can see comments. Hey, Portia. Hey, cousin. Hey, Carrie. Y'all coming to hang out with us tonight. So that's the first thing, y'all. This is interactive. When I bring Casandra on here, we're not talking at y'all, and we're not just talking together. I want y'all to imagine like we all in a room together. We would have at a pajama party. We got our pajamas on. We got our pillow. We got our drink, and we are chillaxing together. So please converse with us because this is a dialogue. We're going to have some good conversation. This is the one of many, and I'm starting with a bang with my girl, Casandra. And I just can't wait to tell all y'all about her. Like, I'm going to read her fantastic bio in just a moment. But again, I need you to make sure you show us some love. And as a matter of fact, it's International Women's Month, right? It's Women's Month. So what I want y'all to do is I need y'all to hit the share button and share a friend, share with a friend. When you bless me, you're blessing yourself too. Because that's how the law of success works. You know, when you bless other people, you get blessed too. So I appreciate y'all by sharing and connecting, tagging a friend, hitting the like and love button, talking to us tonight. Those are all the things that just, it's going to make it get it, because we didn't really start feeling ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And so we're in a big way. So again, I appreciate y'all. So let me just go ahead and get into this for my girl, Casandra, y'all. I knew when I said I was doing this, I just said, let me just get this on the books. I text Casandra, say, hey, you want to be my guest? She didn't ask what for. She just said yes. Okay. And so I had to come back and figure out what was the best topic for us. And it came to me quickly because, and I haven't told her this, and she can hear me right now. So I'm going to wait and share that in just a moment. But it was an obvious choice for me because you'll see. Friends, and just her the way she shares, you're gonna love her. Let me just go ahead and read this official bio for y'all because this is serious now. Let me just tell y'all who we working with tonight. So Casandra Austin-McDonald is a personal growth strategist, coach, speaker, and author. Her profession, real author, like published book on Amazon. Y'all gotta go get y'all a copy now. But her professional experience includes 12 plus years of cognitive behavioral training, crisis intervention, and motivational interviewing by working with juvenile and adult offenders. Casandra is also a certified cognitive behavioral training life coach and soon to be a certified neuro-linguistic programming practitioner, NLP for short. Although Casandra has extensive professional experience in her craft, she also has a very personal, real-life experience with healing, growth, and transformation. As a result of transforming nearly every area of her life, Casandra launched her own personal growth and coaching practice where she empowers empathic souls to redefine how they show up for themselves in their relationships and their lives. Casandra is also a mental health advocate, host of the Grow Through It podcast. Check it out. And has been featured on several other podcasts, blogs, and various media outlets. Now, let me just do this because I forgot to do this because this is important to me. I want y'all to really show Casandra some love. So I got something for y'all that's going to help her out tonight. I want y'all to screenshot this, okay? So that y'all can connect with Casandra after here. Because, you know, blessing when we share and connect and help other people, we help ourselves. So please, y'all share and connect with her. Let me just finish this bio. Casandra is originally from Springfield, Illinois, but now lives in Central Florida with her husband. Casandra and Rohan, I hope I didn't say his name wrong, have 2 boys respectively, Amari and is it Devin?
Yeah.
Did I say it right? Okay, and successfully co-parent with their children's other parents. Casandra lives a plant-based and active lifestyle, loves to spend time outdoors and with her loved ones, loves to laugh and have authentic interactions with genuine souls, and also loves to read and learn about topics that interest her most. Get into it. Yeah, so let me just give her the proper record. Let me just put a little music on so we can invite her in the right way. Let's go, Casandra. You ready, girl?
Yeah.
Hey. Welcome, girl.
Oh, that was awesome.
You gonna be the star tonight? Yes. Y'all, welcome my girl Casandra. Show her. Oh, there go my BFF. Hey, Kim. Oh, Nana's here. Wendy, y'all. I'm just, I feel the love. My people are here supporting, and I love it. But welcome, Casandra. First of all, where your pillow? Boom. Pillow. Now, here's the real test now. Do you have a glass? You know what? Let's do a little cheers. Here we go. Toast. Yes. Now sip. Yes, y'all. If y'all got a glass, sip something. Okay. Water. It can be anything. Sip something. So welcome, Casandra. Thank you so very much. I so appreciate you.
Thank you for asking me.
Yes, I can't wait for everybody to get to know you tonight. This is going to be authentic, genuine, unscripted conversation because she doesn't really know what we're going to talk about tonight. So this is going to be...
Let me grab my pillow.
I get you get to having to need something to grab on or something. So first and foremost, again, thank you. But I want to go ahead and jump in and tell you why I chose the topic of friendships for you. Aww. And this is from years ago when you first started working with me as a client. Right. Mm-hmm. So I was serving Casandra in her health and wellness journey. And, I have a very holistic approach to weight loss. So it was a lot of like therapy kind of talk. We just do some mindset work and things like that. And so we were sharing and connecting about some different things. And Casandra was telling me about a situation that she had going on. Hey, Belinda. Hey, y'all. I just want y'all to know stick around for us. But she was talking about a very specific situation in her life that she was going through with someone she considered a really good friend. And during that share with me, she told me how, when there's conflict, she don't believe in sending a little text message, right? She's like, you pick up the phone, you call me, we're adult women, we could talk through anything, don't duck and dodge me. I don't respect that. She was like, as adult women, you have to be willing to have uncomfortable conversations. Mm-hmm. And when she said it, I was like, ouch. Okay. Because at that moment, I became the client because, it's important that for us to always be open to learning from everybody. That's one thing I've learned. I can learn from everybody. Sometimes it's what not to do, but then it's also, what you can do. And so that resonated with me for years. It did. It truly, truly did. Because, a lot of times we're so busy. We're like, well, it's just like, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to do with that. I'm going to just keep on moving. And you internalize things, which is a toxic way, right, to behave. And so that really stuck with me. So when I thought about you, I was like, you know what, let's talk about some genuine relationships. I have some serious things that I can definitely ask you, and I can't wait to hear your perspective on them. You good with that?
Yeah, I'm like, man, I'm trying to recall everything.
I remember.
I haven't shared that. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes I feel like when we're in the moment and we're sharing things, we don't even realize how it could be coming across to someone else.
Mm-hmm. Always.
I give you kudos as a coach, you know.
Oh yeah, I respect you very much so, and those words definitely resonated. And I'm still a work in progress,
We
but
all are.
I definitely took heed to that, and I think about that from time to time when certain things are going on. Oh, my friend Bridget is on here, and just recently, like we had something, we were exchanging something, and I was like, let me pick up the phone and call her because I'm so busy. Sometimes I want to text, and stuff was getting lost in translation. And we had such an amazing conversation behind that because I was like, let me be grown and pick up the phone and make sure that we dialogue because that's important, especially with important relationships that mean a lot to us. So that's how we got here today with this topic for you.
Aww.
Okay.
I feel honored. Thank you.
Yeah. So now we finna get into it, y'all. Right?
Yeah.
So, if y'all have some questions for Casandra, I would love for y'all to share them here. But I definitely have some to get us started. And I want to talk about relationships and women because I do have I've always through my life been one of those people that have a bunch of friends. That was me always growing up, and all my friends had to be friends, and I just had friends everywhere. And that was just the nature of how it was for me growing up. But as I got older and then I started moving around, it became really difficult for me because I tend to be one of those people that get really wrapped up in what I got going on, right? And to a fault sometimes. And so that's one of the things that, I feel challenged with, as a wife, as a mom, and then moving different places. I've kind of lost connection with a lot of people that I really love, like that I didn't fall out with them or anything like that. Like if we reconnected now, or sometimes I think about our interactions and it's like deep, like I could laugh. We had a good old time. I mean, so many people, but it just got lost for me because I just didn't have time. Like I was away, and I tend to get close to the people that I'm around, and then maybe feel like I'm like dropping some other people to the side. I'm sure that's how people feel. It's not intentional, but that's how often what happens with me. And so one of my first questions for you is really about that. Like, what is your suggestion for, women when they're in those situations and you're trying to like balance friendships with life and you're not doing right. You're not doing right by your friends because you all caught up. And if y'all can relate to that, anybody have those kind of challenges, I want to hear about it. But yeah, tell me what's your perspective on that?
I think we all can relate to that, like yourself. I wear all the hats too, wife, mom, all the labels and titles and all that stuff. And I think balance is bogus. I believe in trying to do our best to create harmony in our lives. And I think it changes from season to season because one season you may need that season of tunnel vision of building something. You may have a season where you're pouring more into your relationships because that's the season you're in. I just think that's where communication comes in, and people who are your people will know and understand. And I do my best to try to set reminders in my phone for like important days. I try to acknowledge people on birthdays. I try to remember to say like meaningful days. I have some childhood friends who lost parents last year. And so I try to remember to reach out to them where there's like one of their parents' birthdays, or there's like something that I know is going to matter to them, just to show like I am still here. I love you. I care. But I think it is challenging to maintain multiple relationships the older we get when we have multiple roles. And I think the key is to know, like, I think our people know, what I mean? Like, I feel like those who truly love and care for us, they know and they understand. But our job on the other end is to also communicate and do our best to try to meet people halfway. And sometimes we're going to drop the ball. We're human. We're not going to be perfect at anything. I think it's just about when you realize you've dropped the ball, pick the phone up like, hey, I know it's been a while. I've had to do that with friends, especially lately in this season of my life where I've been really focused on my business. And I may notice like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I haven't talked to this person in this amount of time. And I'll try my best to pick up the phone, have a conversation, but there's no love lost.
I love that. That was That was beautiful. Ooh, Renee has a question related to this. So let me just jump straight to her question before I start running my mouth. And her question is, how do you balance friends that really don't get along with each other? I have two set of friends, and I feel bad to invite one set of friends and not the other because I know they don't get along. Oh, that's a good one. Oh,
Ooh,
that's a good one.
that is. My petty side wanted to see, I'm still a work in progress. So y'all gotta know, folks who grew up around me, they know I got Red, and we got Casandra, the professional, and Red want to say, well, they need to be grown and act like they got some dang on sense because it's not about them.
Did y'all hear the nickname Red? So when Red comes out, it might be that other response.
Yes.
So tell us.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry, go ahead.
I feel like that's challenging because you don't want to feel like you're the one causing anything. But at the end of the day, you have to know that that has nothing to do with you, and you should not take their stuff as your responsibility to handle. Like, we're grown. Like, seriously, like if people can't get along in a mutual space, especially if you're in a public space, going out to dinner or something like that, like, what is it, an hour and a half to tolerate someone? And if they absolutely can't do it, they don't have to come, but you can extend the invitation. But I would not take their stuff on as yours, because that does not belong to you.
I love that. And if you know that they gonna just turn up and ruin your night, I'll be like,
don't even bother.
Coin. Okay, you in tonight. And when somebody feelings get hurt, be like, well, listen, y'all, this is where y'all put me at. I'm flipping a coin, whoever heads and tails tonight, that's who we gonna roll with until y'all can figure that out, because that's not me and I can't own that, you know?
Yeah.
And so you get a little petty, but at the same time, you're showing some consideration for the situation, because, you know, when you're trying to organize and bring things together, the last thing you want is for your good time to turn in a bad time,
right?
Because people can't get along. You know what I'm saying? So if that's what it comes down to, then
you can even have a conversation with both of them individually and say, hey, I know you don't like such and such. I'm trying to have a good time. Can you handle that? And if this is where I always say it comes back to communication. We got to stop making assumptions. We got to stop trying to pretend like we know what someone's going to say or do. Like, we just have to have the conversation and see what happens.
I love that. I got a good question. We got to go to this question. So, you know, like I said, I have friends that I've been friends with like all my life, like lots of friends that I've accumulated through the years. And sometimes, you know, life changes, right? As we go through these different seasons in life, and life does change. Is it okay to outgrow friendships? And the reason I ask that is because, you know, sometimes you can have a relationship that means so much to you, right? And you can think about all the things that y'all have been through the years, like seriously been there thick and thin, somebody you've always been able to depend on. And then lo and behold, things just feel different. And sometimes things have been said or done over time. Somebody's hurt somebody. And now you're in this place where things just don't seem the same. And personally, for me, I'm just going to, you know, y'all, I just keep it real, right? So I have a situation like that in my life with somebody that I really, really love, right? That I have major love for. And this is going to make me flip the screen on the question now, because So I, through the years, I feel like I've been a bad friend at times, because, you know, I move here and there and I got kids and I get really wrapped up into my life, and like I will disappear because I'll be like, let me focus on my kids and my family and what I'm trying to achieve, because I just can't do everything at once. And so there are times when I've definitely not been a good friend. Okay. But when you recognize that you have made error, you have error and you acknowledge it and you're sincerely sorry about it, right? But when is enough enough? Like, how long do you allow people to hold you hostage to the past? Like, when you've gone through something, you've, you know, confessed it, you recognize the error of your ways, but you can tell that this person is still struggling. rightfully so though, right? Like I can respect the pain because I can't tell somebody else what to feel, right? And I can honor that. But then again, like, do I have to remain hostage to it? Because I like we're gonna come back to the other question, but this one just before that, like when is enough enough? Like at what point do you say, okay?
I think in any relationship, you have to have a point where you're moving forward. Like people are entitled to have their time to heal and reconcile how they feel about something. But if that turns into that's all your relationship is about, then you leave no room for joy and love and friendship and like all the reasons why we want to be in relationship with someone, whether if it's a friendship or whatever type of relationship it is. And so at some point you have to have that journey where you're actually moving forward and not like stuck in the sinking sand. And so, you know, that's the forgiveness is on their part. You have to forgive yourself for your part, but they have to also forgive you for whatever it is they're upset about. And if they're unable to do that, then at what point does the relationship start to move forward? And it can't move forward until that happens. Because if they're holding on to resentments and they're holding on to you did this and you did that, or you just feel the energy, we can feel when something don't feel right. You can feel it. So it's like, how long are you going to stay in that before it gets to the point where you don't want that resentment to rub off on you because you may start to resent the tension. And then it turns into the resentments going back and forth. And now there's nothing good coming out of that. And so I would say at some point you have to be able to move forward, like the forgiveness happening for yourself, the forgiveness happening on their part, and then you deciding this is how we're going to move forward. But then you have to have a conversation of what does that look like for you two? Does it mean having a check-in once a month? Does it mean trying to get together once a year? What does that look like? You know, and establishing some sort of solution so you actually have something you're working toward.
That's beautiful. I really, really like that because you do feel the energy. You know when something is different and when it feels off, and then you feel like this doesn't feel authentic anymore. It kind of feels fake. And that part of you that be like, but man, like there's so much love there. This person has been a really great friend to me. So how do I turn away when I was probably the one that poisoned the relationship in some way? Because
you can't take all fault. It's both sides because there could be times where they may not have reached out to you when they wanted to hear from you. And that resentment on their end's building up. I believe relationship is both sides. One person can't take the sole responsibility for a breakdown in a relationship.
I love that. I see Portia commented, that's where I am with one of my friends. Oh, I'm learning this platform is so cute.
Oh, look at that. I love it.
I am with one of my friends who I was really close with. Now we only speak via Facebook and her conversation is short. Nice, but short. Oh, nice. Oh, that was it right there. Nice, but short. Because it's not mean, right? Yeah. It's nice, but short. And it's different. You could feel something is amiss. I mean, she nailed it with that comment. I definitely get that. And Sharoney was in my wedding, Miss Boosie. Yes, I love her. Sometimes the dynamics of friendship changes and it's okay.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. Like Sharoney, like it was a time when we were together like every day. You know what I mean? And she's been there. Like when my father died, she was right there with me helping to write the obituary and just being a friend. And we don't talk a whole lot. We got our little group chat. Everybody jump in every now and then. But I got major love for her, you know, and dynamic friendships do change. She's right, you know, and so I appreciate when we can maintain that in the midst of all the different things in life.
Yeah,
for sure. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I think the key is just no love being lost. You know, when and I think we have to remember, like, as we get older and we are assuming more responsibilities, friendship does not look the same as it did when we're younger. I think sometimes people compare like, oh, when we were this age, and it's like, well, of course our friendship was like that because I wasn't doing nothing or I didn't have kids or whatever was going on in your life. But the more responsibilities and roles you start to play, the more your time and your energy starts to get split up into multiple places.
Yep. Yep. Okay, that was good. So let's just clink real quick. We gotta reset the room. For those who just joined us, this is my girl Casandra Austin, and she is breaking it all down about friendships. We got pillows, we got drinks, we sipping, and I just want to make sure that you all hit the share button, that you get a chance before this platform, before this ends, that you follow Casandra. Screenshot that for me so that you can show her some love. I would greatly appreciate it. And engage with us. Come on, y'all. Come on now. Give us a little engagement. Let's talk about it. Cassandra. Hey, Cassandra.
Hey.
Oh, yes, another Cassandra on here.
Oh, there is? Oh, okay, cool.
That's I've known her many years. Hey, she's like family to me. So yeah, I got people dropping in. Hey, girl. Hey. Oh, I know you know her.
Yes.
Jay from Springfield.
Yes. How are you, dear?
So anyway, moving along, y'all. I'm looking for y'all questions. I will continue to share those, but let's go back. Let's just drop another one in here for now. Let me see.
Ooh, that irks my nerves. I'm just keeping it real.
Did you see I was like this?
I know, that's why I started laughing, because I'm like, it irks my now. I'm gonna be biased with this response because I am not a needy friend. I'm the type of person, I don't have to talk to anybody every day. I'm very ambivert, like introvert, extrovert, more so on the introverted side. And deep, meaningful conversations mean more to me than the casual surface conversations. So for me, you know, I've had issues in my relationships with girlfriends because I've had former friendships where they wanted to consume all of my time, and that's just not my personality. That's not who I am. And energetically, I just can't reciprocate that. And it was a turn off for me because I'm like, you kind of needy. Like I kind of felt like a dude in that situation, right? I'm like, I want to talk to you all day, every day. I can't do it. I don't have it in me. I think that's a personality thing, though, or it could be a wound. A lot of people have a wound where they lean heavily on someone to meet an emotional need, and it has nothing to do with being a good friend or not. It's because they have a wound that needs to be healed, and they're heavily leaning on someone else to meet that need.
And so Delandra says she can't handle that. She needs her space.
Yes, Connie, listening.
So, let me ask you this then, because I find that, I hope I don't offend nobody. You know, I love y'all, right? So don't take this personal. This is just conversation, right? So I find that sometimes it's more difficult to get understanding from my friends that this ain't a universal law. Okay. This is not a universal law, but like sometimes, you know, I have a husband and I got kids, and our life ain't all picket fences, white fences, and you know what I mean? Like we got stuff. So it's always something. And I think that sometimes that's harder to understand for people who, you know, aren't in that similar dynamic. And then on top of it, like I have a husband who kind of old fashioned. So he enjoys my presence. Like I cook and I keep a clean house and I'm there. And so I carve out that time. And so between work and all that and being that kind of wife, like sometimes I just don't have that kind of space. And when I sit down, the last thing I want to do, y'all, I promise, is talk on this phone. I'd be feeling like I used to be an extreme extrovert. Now I consider myself part introvert, like a lot of introvert, because I love to sit in quiet and peace. Like seriously, like I really need recharge time. And so I struggle because sometimes I'd be like, I really need to call such and such. I really need to call, but I'd be like, I just need a few minutes. And then a few minutes turn into I forgot. Yeah. And so like I sometimes feel that that's harder to explain to people who have a different lifestyle. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because mine does require people that be needing a lot of my time. My kids, Dominique on here now. She know she will blow me up if I don't answer her phone. Okay. Yes, so so it's like I have to give, and those are the most important people for me. You understand? And so that's not sacrificable. And then my health and wellness ain't sacrificable. I made up a word.
Right.
So then I'm challenged there with balance and that kind of thing. And I feel again that just like sometimes some of my friends who don't have that similar lifestyle, they don't get it, and that's tough.
Have you sharing that made me think about one of my close friends. She's not into like entrepreneurship or anything like that, but she's a single mom. And she's always sharing with, like, we just get each other. She gets me, and we may go a period of time without talking, but she always acknowledges, like, I know you're busy and I know you're working on, like, she acknowledges that, but she doesn't take it personally. And I think it makes me appreciate her more because she's not taking my lifestyle personally, because she knows it has nothing to do with her. And I think part of the problem with a lot of women is they take things personally because of wounds. They have a wound of rejection. They have a wound of abandonment. And anytime you do something that triggers that wound in them, they take it as an insult to them when really you got a life. It has nothing to do with them. I think that's why it's so important to have people around who are healthy and whole and understand, and the people who are on a healing journey or need to heal, having at least open dialogue with them and saying, hey, this is not about you. Like, I literally, like, my day is jam-packed. And it's not about not being there. Like, if you're carving out time and doing your best, it makes me think of the 4 agreements where he talks about always do your best. And I think that's what's important. It's like, within yourself if you're doing your best or not. And that's what matters. Are you doing your best? And if you feel within yourself, I'm doing my best, then that's what matters.
I saw a good comment here that my daughter, my baby girl, had for you, Casandra. Question, I'm sorry. So, and she's Casandra with 1 S, by the way. Don't let me tell you that. Casandra with 1 S, okay? Respect the name. But go ahead, Casandra. You can see she's got a
I'm
question.
an introvert too, Casandra. So question, how did you go about fostering new healthy friendships when you moved across the country? So 2 things. I have been maintaining friendships from back home. So speaking to some friends back home, but then as soon as I moved to Florida, I hit the ground running. Before COVID happened, I was going to business networking events. And now that COVID has happened, I have been doing a lot of online networking. So I'm in groups. I got on meetup.com. I mean, I've been online and I've been connecting with people. And I actually had a couple of coffee dates recently, social distance friendly, of course, meeting with people because I know that I can't just be a hermit here. Eventually, COVID is going to be over, and I need to have people around here that I know. And so I've been using online to connect with people and meet with them personally and to get to know them and kind of just put myself out there saying, hey, I'm new and I'm looking to meet new friends,
I love that. I love that. When and I keep saying that I'm going to do that because I moved across country too to Texas, and it's like I keep saying I'm gonna get involved in some things because I went to Indianapolis and turned into a straight hermit. Like, y'all, I lived there for 2 years. When I tell y'all, I didn't go anywhere. When I say nowhere, I mean nowhere. I stayed in the house for 2 years outside of work, and then when work shut down, everything shut down. And I actually started getting excited about moving to Texas because there were a couple ladies here that I knew I would be connecting with. We would have a good time. So it became exciting, so it was like that, when I was in Indianapolis, and I had a couple of cousins there and my really good girlfriend, Casandra. But she was a homebody too. We were both going through overcoming some stuff too. So that had a lot to do with it. And so I was just, all I wanted to do was be alone. But once she just said, I know you didn't visit me. I love you, though. I promise I do. But, I was excited about a fresh start. And I was like, this time around, I'm going to get outside. I'm not going to just become, make this my life. Because that's what happened in Indianapolis. And Casandra, at least I wasn't ducking you. Like, your girl was in the space I was in when I first came there. She knew intimately. about that. And so that was a time, of healing for me. Indianapolis served this purpose. But when that time was up, I was out. And I have my new place here too. So I'm in that same situation. My daughter's across the country in her situation, and you are too. So it's new beginnings, but that's a blessing and beauty in that if we're open and willing to connect. So,
and that was huge for me to even put myself out there, because probably about, I would say around the situation you were sharing at the beginning of this, from then on for like 2 years, I was scared to make new friends, because that kind of scarred me. Because I was like, geez, I kind of put myself out there and this is what happens. But I was like, I got to practice what I preach and teach to everybody else. I got to do the work and heal and move on and trust that not everybody's like that. So.
I love that. Hey, sis, my sister Valerie just joined. Love you, girl. Oh, excuse me. So let's go to another question. Let's see what we got here. Toxic relationships. What are signs of toxic relationship? Like, what are the things that you can start seeing in how? So let's take a relationship that was once healthy, right?
Yeah.
Because you'll be asking yourself, am I imagining this? Is something weird going on here? Like, you start like, what are the signs that a relationship is kind of
I always go back to communication, man. I swear that's like if there's a breakdown where like there's gaslighting is a term that was developed like in the 1930s, I think. There's this movie.
Break that down for people, because gaslighting is so commonly
used
today, and a lot of people don't know what that means. It's narcissists and gaslighting. Talk about it for a second.
So gaslighting is when a person is invalidating your experience. So say, for instance, April comes to me and she says, Casandra, when you said blah, 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 I felt this way. And then gaslighting would be me responding in a very dismissive way, not acknowledging what she said, not even leaving room for a conversation, just basically dismissing it and acting like she's making it up in her head or that she's crazy, and trying to move on with the conversation. That's a form of gaslighting, and it's toxic, because in a healthy dialogue, both people should be able to communicate back and forth, even if it's uncomfortable, because not every conversation is going to feel good. There's going to be uncomfortable conversations, but we have to be able to at least let someone speak their piece. I always say a rule of thumb is, if it's hard for you to hear something, just shut up and don't say nothing at all, and just nod and just listen, because your feelings, especially as women, you want to defend, you want to protect, you want to say something because you get defensive. But we have to remember that this person is having their experience, and we don't know the behind the scenes. Maybe they were triggered. Maybe this situation reminded them of something. And so to me, that's a big sign. It's gaslighting, invalidating someone else's experience. TJ says, they'll also say you're being too sensitive. Yes, that's a huge one.
Yes.
Calling someone yes, that's a huge one. When I'm called that, I know, like, you're not my people, because you're not gonna, I'm a whole empath. Yes, I'm sensitive.
And that's okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Another one is the not being able to have a conversation at all. Like you shared, I tried to have a conversation with that person, and I mean, they were just absolutely unwilling. They wanted to do it on their terms, through their method. It was very controlling. There was no meet me halfway, no compromise. And I believe in a healthy relationship, you're able to meet each other halfway. You're able to compromise. There is no control or dictatorship, or it's my way or the highway mentality. That's toxic, because if you have that mentality, that means you have an agenda, and you're doing that with the reason of, I'm trying to get something out of this for me, instead of, I'm not trying to see how this can work for the both of us. And then I always tell people, like, listen to your gut. We can feel when something don't feel right. And I think we've been conditioned to not trust ourselves. And so
Mhm.
because it may not be all out there and loud, and we feel something doesn't feel right, but we keep ignoring it and we keep pretending like we didn't feel that or see that. But that could be our way of contributing to the toxicity of not saying anything and ignoring what you feel.
Mhm. Love that. Love that. I heard this actually, Wendy, she was on here earlier. She and Cassandra, I'm coming back to your question because it's a good one. Cassandra, I gotta say CC because I keep saying Cassandra and you think I'm talking to you. So C, I'm coming back to your question because it's a good one. But I was on this. My friend Wendy invites me to these women's group conversations that they have every Thursday, and they were talking about friendships, and she said, "Oh, this was so good to me." She talked about a woman came on and said, "Oh, well, I don't know. I'm trying to work on myself, but I really don't, have like women. A lot of women are sneaky and just not to be trusted, et cetera, et cetera." Those weren't her exact words, but y'all get it. Baby, they broke it down so good. And they said the lady referred to something as an example from a John Maxwell book. And I wish I knew the book. But she said, usually what we feel about somebody else is what we know about ourselves, right? And so she talked about, oh, I wish I could tell the story, right? It was so good. They broke it down. And what they broke down to her very eloquently, but it was like boom, was that, when we're distrustful of people, right? It's usually because of somehow we don't trust ourselves. And
Exactly.
I am one of them people, like, I'd be like, I don't believe what she said. I don't believe. And so then I find myself like, April, why you always like invalidating what somebody said or like always think? And so I had to look at my own self. What don't I trust about, like, what lies I've been telling to myself, what I'm not keeping real with my own self? Because I will be quick to be like, I don't think she lied. Like, I'm just saying, I do that. That's something I've been working on, by the way. But I would have, I'm work in progress. I would have a tendency to do that. And I had to look at my own self and say, like, why? Like, it's okay to trust people and be open and believe, right? Until, I mean, obviously I'm not saying be a fool, but like I
Right.
was to be side-eyeing something based on
Yeah.
my own opinion. And willingly, that's me. A lot of times it could be us projecting onto other people our
Yeah.
own issues and our own situation. So for that lady who was so distrustful of other women, it's like you got trust issues with your own self. So you're projecting on
Exactly.
other people because you think other people like you.
Agreed.
That's a blink, blink, blink moment. Like that. Let me take a drink on that. Because you're thinking that other people are like you. And that was so very insightful for me.
Yeah.
And it was
That's
deep.
that's so true.
Yeah, what you say, yes, sis was toxic herself. Right. Yes, we do forget, duck and dive, distracting from the topic and flip and switch the issue. Yes. That's the gaslighting narcissistic type
Yeah.
personality. You will
Yeah.
come with some valid, and before you know it, you be like, well, what did I did something wrong? Like they have you second guessing it if you're
I
not aware of those tricks,
yeah. You
for
gotta
sure.
you gotta know the signs. I always know when something's not right when I try to have a conversation. And then when they start avoiding me and that's when I'm like, I'm done.
Mhm.
I don't even put in any more effort after that. When I try to have either a telephone conversation or an in-person conversation and they don't want to communicate and they just want to sweep it under the rug, I'm like, I'm done.
Mhm.
Because we can't move forward. That's
Mhm.
that's toxic, sweeping stuff under the rug and pretending like nothing happened or pretending like I didn't see this, or that's not healthy.
They'll try to make you doubt your intuition. Yes, TJ. Okay, look at this question from from Cece.
Is it okay to pull back from a friend who is always in competition with you and others? It's sad because she's almost 60 years of age. Yeah, well, I would say yeah, because that toxicity is going to rub off on you. And if you really feel like you're a close friend, talk to her and say, like, hey, I notice when this happens that you do that. Like, what's that all about? And, if they get defensive or whatever happens, that's on them. But um, I think we have to start doing better at having conversations with people. I think the hardest part of friendship sometimes is having those uncomfortable conversations with people and saying, like, I noticed you did that. What did you mean by that? Or why did you do that? And try and genuinely try to understand, because what'll happen is one or two things will happen. They're either going to shut down, defend, or gaslight, or they may actually start to hear themselves and realize that they were doing something that sometimes people only know what they know, and they don't realize until it's brought to their awareness what they're doing.
Dominique said, I'm here for Casandra and uncomfortable conversation. But we all know we're going to be using the word conversation. I think I need to have some conversations. Say, we need to have a conversation. I need to have a conversation with you. Like, we're going to be all conversing. Let me be technically correct.
And while we're being transparent, I'm the oldest of three sisters. And, I used to be very close with my sisters, but I grew up in a very dysfunctional household. And the further I get on my journey, the further we seem to grow apart. And it's hurtful for me because we've reached some places in our relationship where uncomfortable conversations need to be had. And there's been a breakdown. They've shut down. They don't want to talk. And I'm unwilling to pretend like nothing happened. And so I'm just in a space where I extended the invitation. I said, hey, I'm here whenever you're ready to talk. But in the meantime, I cannot continue to interact with you as if nothing happened. And just kind of leaving the ball in their court and saying, like, hey, you can come to me and we can talk when you're ready, but I can't keep going on as if nothing happened.
Oh, the Queen Bee has just posted, y'all. Queen Bee, my auntie Josie. Let me just talk about her for a minute, y'all. Everybody needs somebody, they wisdom person. That's my auntie, y'all. Let me just tell y'all, I could call my auntie at 3:00 in the morning and be like, auntie, can you pray with me? She'll act like it's 2:00 in the afternoon. Like, she ready to go. Auntie, can we fast? Can you fast with me? See, I knew something was going on. I knew it in my spirit. She is always on go. Okay, like you need you a Josie. So when Josie speaks, read this here conversation. She said, I don't think that's the case all the time. It depends on the person or maybe her age and the things she may have seen in others. So now she went back to the lady that I was talking about with and I agree with that very much so, because when we have issues and we keep them inside, they can poison us and make us become toxic. I've been there, done that, when we don't get things out and allow healing to happen, because that's just like leaving something, apple in the basket. Eventually it's going to rot, right? Like, and that's how I feel from my personal experience. I can't speak for everybody else, but like, I found that when I didn't deal with things, because, as African Americans, especially, I feel like we're taught to just stick and move. Like, we don't have time for that. Look at where can't help it. Look who our ancestors, they had to be strong. It wasn't time to deal with emotions, right? And so many of us grew up like that. I mean, I was 13 years old when my mother died, and I came home from the hospital and got her book out and started calling and telling the people that she died, like just a robot. And I remember one of my best friends, Antoinette, told me that I will never forget that. She told me, you weird. And I was like, what? She was like, I think that's really weird, because I came home 13 years old and started calling. But that was just what I knew. Like, that was repressing. And so I was just moving, stick and move, because that is what I knew. And so that became my pattern. And eventually, man, listen here.
It catches up.
Man, listen. And it can catch up in such a terrible way. I'm here to tell you. And that's what it was for me. Like, when I broke, right? And that was so heavy. But I knew it was just all these years of just doing and going and covering and moving and all of that, and never dealing with my issues. And what they say, cut people, if you don't heal your wounds, hurt people. It's one that they say about how your blood can bleed on somebody. It's a beautiful quote. But that,
I know what you're talking about. I'm trying to think of it.
Yeah. But that was me. And so just I could see that, Auntie, is what I'm trying to say, is that lady had probably experienced some stuff that became toxic in her. And now that's how she viewed the world. That was the lens. And so with that being said, like what would your response be in that type of situation?
You're talking about the one that said that she can't trust people?
Yeah, but if it's from her not healing brokenness and broken
Oh,
relationships and
yeah.
stuff.
I mean, I used to be one of those that used to say that. I used to say I don't trust women. And it was because I didn't heal from the wounds that I had. I had mother wounds. I had mean girl wounds from friends that were mean girls, and I put up with it because of my codependency. I had so many dang on wounds and issues that I hadn't addressed. And so I would absolutely say that. I think anytime we suffer from trust issues and we struggle to have healthy interactions with others, it's because of a wound.
That's deep.
Yeah.
The root issue. Belinda said, yes, sometimes you got to get to the root. The rooter and the tutor. To get to the rooter and the tutor. That is absolutely correct. Because that's just like when you out there in them yard, you try to snatch that weed up from the top.
Exactly.
Because it ain't went nowhere. You just cut off the hair. You just gave it a little haircut, and that hair gonna grow right back and make
that's
it
what so many people do.
And thicker and healthier in a negative way than it was before. But yeah, I mean, I think that's the curse of Black men. I be looking at, that's a whole nother conversation. But our poor Black men have been taught to this. And it has it's hurt so many men in so many ways. That's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, so I definitely appreciate that. I saw something else. Hey cousins, my cousins on here. I love y'all. That's so cute. Yeah. Oh my goodness. You know what, y'all? I've been just talking along. It's almost an hour. Like we have an hour limit. So this was so good, y'all. I was just really enjoying myself so very much. Listen, y'all, could y'all just show some love? Give me some hearts for Casandra.
Oh, thank you for having me.
She kept red. Red statement. And we got to meet Casandra. I got to introduce y'all to Casandra. Now, another day, I may invite Red to the party. Red show up. Hey, boo. Hey, Sharon. Red show up to the party, and it's a whole nother situation. But she gave us some gems tonight, and I so appreciate Casandra again. If you did not screenshot this, please take a screenshot and connect with Casandra. She has an amazing book. Oh, I know I got it. So I wish I could just spot it real fast so I could grab it and show y'all because I have her book. Yeah, but you all need to get her book. Support a Black woman, a woman in general. I cannot see it, but I got it somewhere. But anyway, what's the name of your book, Casandra?
Unclothed Memoir of a Naked Soul.
Unclothed Memoir, and it's her story. It's her journey sharing. It was part of her healing, but in the process, she was able to heal others by sharing transparently and authentically. And this is just who she is all the time. And I love and appreciate her, especially for kicking off Real Talk Pillow Talk with me. Yeah. So first of all, let's just, did you finish? Go ahead and gulp that down now. Come on, Red. Take it to the head, Red. Take it to the head. And then, this is a new thing for me, right? This will be a show that I do. I don't know the cadence right now. I'm thinking like every 2 weeks, but I already know my next topic. I can't wait to share on it. So look out. It's probably going to be 2 Thursdays from now, right? And so we are going to end every session on a really, really good note, right? Because this is something I believe in words so powerfully, y'all. I believe in faith so powerfully, y'all, because there is no reason in the world why I have the blessings. I don't deserve anything that I have. But I can tell you, I know how to go underneath the veil, honey, and I know how to speak life over me and my people. And I just want us to do and believe for amazing things to happen. And so we're going to end every session with a affirmation. So my affirmation that I'm going to share with you all today is that I pray the blessing and anointing over Abraham over me and my family. So it's personal. Y'all, I want y'all to speak that over your life with me today. So let me make it stop scrolling here. Give me 1 second because I want y'all to be able to see it. So let me just stop the scroll. I'm getting good at this. Give me a couple more sessions. I'm going to be an expert. So this is our affirmation for today. I want to make sure, can y'all type it in the comments for me? Okay. I want you to type this in the comments for me. Her book is on Amazon. It is absolutely, as a matter of fact, let me just go on over here to Facebook and type the name of it. Go ahead. Unclothed
Memoir of a Naked Soul.
Of a Naked Soul. Remember, by Casandra with 1 S. Don't y'all call her Casandra with 2 S's now. And yes, you can get her book on Amazon. Okay. So back to this affirmation. I'm sorry. I want y'all to type this because there's power. We're going to speak it out loud wherever you at. I can't hear y'all, but it does not matter. But I pray the blessing and anointing of Abraham all over me and my family.
I pray the blessing and anointing of Abraham over me and my family. Yes, yes.
Yes. And if y'all don't remember them blessings and anointing that Abraham, listen, anybody connected to Abraham was winning. Okay. So here's the thing. If I have the blessing and anointing of Abraham over me, guess what? Just come on, rub these elbows with me. It's all good because everybody connected to Abraham was getting covered. So I pray that blessing of Abraham, that blessing anointing over me and my family, and over you and yours as well. And if you get it before me, let me just rub on you a little bit, okay? Because it's contagious. It's contagious. And I thank you all so very much for joining us tonight. I got to give us a little music, as we take it out. If I had a little more, I'd toast with y'all, but I want to thank y'all so much. Episode 1 in the books. Thank you, girl, and thank you all for joining me. I appreciate y'all so very much.
Thank you.
See you, girl. Look, I ain't even share my own contact information. If y'all not following me, y'all need to follow me. Let me just make sure y'all got my information too. I'm on Instagram, Facebook. I got brand new accounts. I had to start over, y'all. So if y'all wasn't following me, could you please go follow your girl, okay? Because I'm here and I ain't going nowhere this time because I got the blessing and the anointing of Abraham all over my life. Come get you some. Thank y'all so much. And it is what it is and what we're gonna be tonight. Baby, I'm a star tonight. I'm up in the sky tonight. For the world to see, I ain't thinking about you. Baby, I'ma do me tonight. Baby, I'm a star tonight. I'm up in the sky tonight. Give me one more, cause I'm shining, shining, shining. Hey!